You guys all tweeted me this so much. I was getting texts from John. Everyone last night was letting me know about this story. We have a Game of Thrones sequel in the works. Now, this is all early days, guys, so I don't want us to get too excited here. But we now know that a Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel is in the works for over at HBO. So what's really interesting here is we are going to have the continuation of the story. The show was not the definitive ending for these characters. We've got more story to tell, not only about Jon Snow, but potentially some of the other Stark kids as well. Rob, when you see this, what do you think? Yeah.
I mean, look, I was not satisfied with what happened to Jon Snow at the end of this series. I mean, I understand why it occurred, but I did not like the end of Dany and Jon's or Aegon. It's Aegon Targaryen. I
believe so.
So, spoiler alert. And I mean, I appreciated where he went off to. I mean, I liked that. That was sort of fitting. But again, I mean, my excitement for this show will be based on how good House of the Dragon is. And, you could do Game of Thrones spinoffs until you're blue in the face, or blue in the face Beyond the Wall in the North. You could do that, and look, I'll watch anything as long as it's good. Look, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I come down on the side that season 7 and 8 were not as satisfying as they should have been. I really hated the direction season 8 went in.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they did the Night King dirty. I mean, he basically mattered not.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing about that, I didn't understand. And the flight time between like Dragonstone and Beyond the Wall was a little sketchy there. Like what? You can fly 1,000 miles. It took Robert Baratheon a month to go from King's Landing to Winterfell on horseback. So anyway, I won't get into that. But if this is good, it could be great.
Absolutely.
I mean, my initial response is, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, if House of the Dragon is good, because then I could be like, okay, I'll watch. I love Jon Snow. I love that character. I love Kit Harington.
I think Kit Harington's great.
I have a great 6-scale figure of him.
Of course you do.
And it's not Hot Toys though, because it was a different company.
Okay.
So I hope it's good.
Same. I want to highlight this thing that the Hollywood Reporter pointed out. The development signals an intriguing new direction in HBO's handling of author George R.R. Martin's fantasy universe. A move not unlike Disney Plus' management of its Star Wars and Marvel brands, where the streamer has found success, that's debatable, launching career-focused sequel series such as WandaVision and Obi-Wan. So, with that, do you think that is something that HBO has gone, hey, what if we take these characters, some of the more popular ones from our kind of like crown jewel properties, and like these other streamers, focus on them and give them more of a story?
Well, what's interesting about that is, yes, I think they are. They're taking a page, and HBO, I think, had a resounding success, not creatively, I'm saying, with their Sex and the City sequel.
Oh, yes.
And Just Like That, which was one of the most, I was a huge Sex and the City fan, and Just Like That is one of the most awful TV shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. But it led me to the Real Housewives podcast where they reviewed on YouTube those episodes.
Oh, nice.
And they hate and Just Like That more than I hate Star Trek Discovery.
Dang.
And it made it amusing to listen to. But still, the show was successful. And I think, look, rather than everybody wants known IP, they want to mine IP, I think this is a good way to go. And they'll do a limited series. If it works, they'll do another season. I mean, HBO will make sure that, and look, they're already making more Game of Thrones. So they've got, it's kind of like when they do a Star Wars show or movie, they can borrow sets and props and interchange them. And it's great. I mean, why not do more Game of Thrones shows? If they have great ideas and great creators working on them and the shows are good, why not make them? And I can understand that. You've got an IP. You've already got something that's wildly successful. Game of Thrones was a huge worldwide success.
Absolutely.
And who wouldn't want to see, where does Jon Snow go now? And maybe one day he'll go back to King's Landing, and the Unsullied, he'll be like, come on, guys, let me back into King's Landing.
Yeah.
Who knows? And you can bring back Sansa Stark. You can bring back Arya Stark. Where'd Arya go? We don't know. I mean, why not? Maybe she sails all the way around the world again.
Arya was the one who I figured would get the spinoff. That's all I thought in that finale was, oh, they're going to give her a spinoff.
Which also could be very interesting. I would watch that spinoff because
Absolutely.
where did she go?
But I think you're right too. It just all comes down to that execution. And again, we are in very, very early days. It's just in development. Should this move forward, Kit Harington is attached supposedly, but we have to see how all of this pans out ultimately.
Yep. And it could be, maybe they'll decide to do a movie or a miniseries.
Yeah.
It won't go to like ongoing, but it'll be like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hope it's better than Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it could be a 6-issue or 6-episode limited series. Yeah. We don't know.
I'd like that. What I'm really hoping for is it just means that we get the Game of Thrones scotches back, because I love those. They're real good.
And the beers.
They did have beers too.
They had Game of Thrones beers, and they came with, if you bought the holiday pack, you got the Game of Thrones glasses that go with the beers.
Oh, that's nice. That's how I got my manager, is we would go to these Game of Thrones parties, and we were drinking scotch together. And both realized we were from Houston, living in L.A.
When Game of Thrones was new, they would sponsor, there's the Wired Cafe used to be at Comic-Con, put on by Wired Magazine, and they did one of the first years of the Wired Cafe, free Jameson. And I would just go refill my flasks. Thank you, Wired Cafe, and thank you, Game of Thrones, because they had free Jameson that I drank all 4 days. It's fantastic.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Actually, 3 days.
They know how to party until they don't.
It's true.
Well, guys, let us know what you are thinking about this. Are you excited about a Jon Snow sequel series? Are you feeling like we're kind of getting burnt out on Game of Thrones, given that ending? What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments down below.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, HelloFresh. Let me take a second to tell you why my wife Ann and I love HelloFresh. As two working professionals, at the end of the day, it can be tough to get dinner together, and HelloFresh saves us loads of time, money, and most importantly, gives us great tasting and nutritious meals. And no joke, with the easy to follow along instructions, Ann and I actually have a blast cooking dinner together. And they're so foolproof, even I can do it alone when Ann's not there. And HelloFresh now has over 30 dinner recipes to choose from every single week. That is the most choices of any meal kit out there. Customize your favorite dishes with new Hello Custom offerings by swapping out one protein or side for another, upgrading for a more luxe experience, or even adding protein to a veggie meal. So guys, right now, go to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/Campea16. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.